Okay. Hello and happy World Plone Day. My name is Asko Soukka. I heard that, well, I heard a rumor that someone asked for a live coding possibility for this year's World Plone Day, and well, I accepted the challenge. So my background, I come from University of Jyväskylä, from Finland. I've been mostly using Plone on Plone 4 era, so in the latest Plone 5, Plone 6 with the quite classic backend and well, the front end is a little bit new for me. So this will be also fun for myself to learn a little bit. And also on the topic, I mentioned also wipe coding. So because I'm not so familiar with what the code base and how to write plugins for new Plone and new Alto. This is also perfect place for me to try out this new wipe coding trend, wipe coding tools, and try to ask the AI to help me to develop with for Volto. Little bit my setup. So I'm running this experiment on GitHub Codespaces, and so my wipe coding will be based on GitHub Copilot, which accidentally came to, I guess, public availability the GitHub Copilot agent for wipe coding last week, quite recently anyway. So for a long time, we have already had LLMs to help us for chatting next to us and give us copy paste code to add to our project and see if it helps in any way. But the latest trend has been to let the AI code in so-called agent mode. So we only instruct the AI and don't write code by ourselves. Let the AI code for us, be our assistant, code for us, and do what we want. So, well, so I have Plone add-on on GitHub Codespaces. I to get started and not get stuck with the environment, I created a Plone project with backend. Plone project for our new Plone add-on with backend and frontend add-on. I used Cookie Plone project for that. So Cookie Plone allows you to create. I guess it's the new skeleton creator for Plone. So it created backend project for me and frontend project for me, and those seem to work together pretty well. And then on the top level, I added my dev container setup. So dev container is the VS Code feature for trying to make reproducible development environments so that you can just fire it and you have all the dependencies you need, both for your local VS Code development and also, well, if there are other dev container supporting IDs, maybe with those. And of course, then GitHub Codespaces, which is the dev VS Code dev container provided by GitHub. So I have launched it, and then I have my setup to launch my project. So the greatest thing I have to add on top of the Cookie Plone setup is have a proxy on front of Plone backend and Plone frontend to make everything available through the web. So while we're waiting for the Plone to start, my idea today is to try to make BBM and diagram content for Plone. That's something I really want to have. So what is this BBM thing? So while I have not been doing any Plone development for the last few years, I've been learning process automation, process orchestration on base of BBM 2.0 standard. So BBM is simple diagram language for modeling business processes, or maybe orchestration things, orchestration of microservices. And especially neat that it's not only a visual diagram, but it can be also integrated for process engines to execute the diagram and execute your integrations in the diagram and transfer the data between the integrations. So it's like visual automation standard in that way. And it has open source, well, mostly open source libraries for both modeling and displaying. So my minimal like viable product is to get the Plone content where you can upload BBMN file, and then it will render the file for me in Volto. And if I get past that, then the super bonus would be to add also editing features, but that might be too much for today. So let's try to make a simple Plone content with file field, and then implement like display widget for it to display those diagrams on Volto. So it seems my Plone has started. So thanks to GitHub Codespaces and how it can also proxy stuff outside of the environment, I should now be able to open my running simple Volto site. So here with this. So it's running in cloud, and GitHub manages these dynamic addresses for me, and my proxy on top of Plone back and Plone front end makes me possible to also view all these through the web. So I have the Volto. It's running in so-called seamless mode. So I have also Plone back end there to help me just in case. But yeah, this should be our main multi-user interface. So we need to add Plone content type, and that's something I should be pretty much able to do from my old classic Plone knowledge. But let's see, is the is the AI LLM able to do it for me? So we want the new content type. Let's see. So we move into agent mode. This had to be enabled for some setting, and it might need some Copilot license, which I'm currently lucky to have. So let's see. So I want to create Plone content type with basic metadata and one file field. We need XML file for that. Maybe it helps. The content type with basic metadata and file field. The name ID should be BBMN content. No, BBMN diagram maybe. And title should be and the file should be field should be file field ID should be, let's make it BBMN XML. That's technical enough. And now we can play and see what it figures out for us. So it tries to figure out something from our like workspace. It found out we have typed XML. Yeah. And now it's already completely lost. It tries to it tries to replace our listing of content types. So maybe we should help it. So it's like an assistant or like newbie we need to train, I guess. So let's undo this. So the content type should go into under types folder next to the types XML. the file name should be development diagram XML. Oh, it was without the underscores altogether, and should only be referred. So now we are teaching our assistant to code for us. If it were a human, it would I guess it would learn things. Now that it's just an LLM without memory, it will forget everything. And let's see. So it tries to create file that should already exist. Well, what would go wrong from that? Okay. Yeah, it creates a file for us. So far, so good. It doesn't look like complete Plone type definition. We might soon need to go to Plone tutorials to get more complete XML. Let's see. Yeah, this one, I guess it got, no. This does not look correct. Maybe I should keep this to get for and keep a bit of this to get something done. But no. But now, okay. So I'm trying to make Copilot, GitHub Copilot agent to write a Plone backend content type for me, and it just cannot do it by heart, it seems. So maybe I should really go just get an example at this point, get the example from Plone Codespace, and then help it to refactor it properly. So let's go to Plone app content types. Or should we go to, no, let's go Plone content types at first. And let's get some example type definition from here. So profiles, content, no default types. And although you want to do it pretty close to file content type. So let's cope with this one. Okay. So we should rename this to match our content that what we want to do. So we need to fix the class to be the default Plone dictionary content item. Fix class to dexterity the default. This might actually be fairly helpful. Because I don't remember the class path by heart anymore. So maybe it helps me. Yeah, it seems correct. I hope. And then fix the title ID to Bidon diagram and title to so like it would be ready by doing this by hand, but let's follow the rules to learn. I guess it's like 10-finger typing. You just need to force you to use the agent, get used to it, and maybe it helps in the long run. And of course, when you do more, maybe then you learn to know what it knows to do. So I think when we move to front end side, then the front end side is then JavaScript, and it's more generic React.js code. Maybe there it knows better. So we need to replace a model file with model source. And also the file be just named file. Maybe. BBM diagram. Or BBM XML maybe. File. Okay, we'll see what it does. Okay. It looks almost correct, but I'm pretty sure that this model source. No, is it the model source is should be path for the model. So I'm mixing now. Maybe if we make this like empty and no. Okay. So this was wrong approach. We need to move this to schema, I think. The model source was actually, this looks more correct. So now, okay, now I broke the rules and went typing, but luckily I can still use the auto-completion, so it almost wipe coding then. I think this should be escaped somehow. So let's try please escape schema. Yeah, the user is asking for the how to see the agent mode in VS Code. So I actually was also missing it in the modem when I started this. Oh no, it added it wrong. So I had to go for the settings. I looked it from the documentation just before I started. So VS Code. Here we have settings, preferences, settings, and here we have chat agent enable. Yes. So we need to check enable chat agent, and then we should see here the agent option. So I was too looking for it just a few minutes ago. This still looks broken. So we need to escape. Maybe we can use the inline set to do this. Escape this. And how we call it? Like it should be date. It should be literal in the XML. So as an I can. Well, I don't know the right term, but it guessed correctly what I was looking for. I exactly was looking for how to escape it. So it's actually value of the XML, not the XML itself. And now we have the diagram here. I think this looks correct. I'm not completely sure. We'll see what happens when you try to update, reinstall our add-on. And then I go to the types again. And now we should add it here. So add the new content type into types XML. We'll see, does it figure out that actually we want to add that BBN diagram there? Yeah, I guess that's right. That could be right. Okay. And now I'm not completely sure. Do I need to restart Plone backend? Let's do it anyway. So in my dev container setup, I'm not sure how well containers would work inside containers in GitHub Codespaces. So I'm running this as a so I have my GitHub Codespace dev container is based on so-called Nix container or Deven container. That's just a very generic container image, which can then install every possible package from the internet there and run stuff inside the container without subcontainers. So I have Plone backend running, Plone frontend running, and then caddy proxy in front of them. So let's try to restart the backend. Yes, now it's restarting. And then we go to reinstall the add-on here on our Plone site. So let's go to So thanks to my using the Plugin clone for creating the frontend and add-on, it seems that it just works otherwise. So that we can see our BBN content add-on that was created with the cookie clone was here pre-installed automatically. And now I try to uninstall it and reinstall it, and it gave us an error. So that probably means that our XML is broken. So, and let's see, an undefined property ID. So should I now go to the BBN X diagram here, add this undefined property ID here? Or actually, is it this one? No. I I could add here. Let's see what the things if we add this value error there. So value error undefined. I guess this would be more rewarding if I would be like teaching real developer here, but now I'm just telling these to LLM that won't remember anything. So there's no reward in this doing these things. I might have know already how to do it properly. So maybe I should just compare it here. So there is no ID in the model of in the content type file at all. So when I asked it to rename our content type made from this default file content type into our own new content type, it added the ID because it didn't know that there shouldn't be such such property. So let's try just reinstall this. Would it work like this? It did install, so I didn't have to restart Plone for that. And now let's see, can we add our new content type here? We go home, we have plus we have our BBN diagram content here, and it looks boring. Of course, I should have some BBN diagrams somewhere. Let's see, maybe I can quickly find. So example, I hope I have something not so. Yeah, that's trivial and not secret. And this is this? So this is not like yeah, this is not like a Volta page with those block layouts, but this is just normal structured page. But that's okay because we don't have to have the Volta block layout. We want to have our own view with the render BBM and diagram here. So we will replace the view anyway. So this is okay. Yeah. So far we were able to create new content type for us by copying the Plone default file content type. But instead of using the file content type as such, we made it use the default dexterity base class, and we added the file type as dynamic schema, so that we don't need to have Python class for the content type. Less files, less thing to maintain, maybe. Okay. So I guess we forget the backend. Right now, we clearly saw that the agent is not yet so capable with our backend code, which is actually surprising because there's a lot of Plone code in the internet. But maybe still not enough for LLMs to be immediately catch what we are trying to do. So maybe I should now try to clear the context before we move forward. Doesn't make any sense. Now this height, do we have here button somewhere here? Here. Yeah. Cleared. So let's go forward for the front end. So we want to have custom, at first, just custom view, custom Volta view for our new content type. We move from the backend project to front end project and find a source. Source is somewhere here. A lot of files. Development, front-end development is a lot of files nowadays. From the directory, packages. Yeah, because we are developing this as an add-on. That's why it's under the packages. So this is our BBN content Waldo add-on, which is on source folder, and empty components. Okay. Jussi has idea that maybe we are now using here GPT-4 or maybe some other model like Claude Sonnet would work better. We could try it for the front end, and that's fun because I did try a little bit the GPT-04 yesterday for the front end, and it worked fine. So now I'm completely on uncharted waters again. So we need to explain for the LN what we want to do. We want to have so create custom Waldo, create and register, create and register custom default view for our new content type BBM diagram. Let's add a default Waldo view. And let's hope this is enough. So now it's using, let's say, Claude Sonnet LLM. Okay. So it figures out what did I do, creates a new component, and then registers for it as for us. I think it seems it's finding right places, maybe. Thinking aloud. Okay. I think the GPT-04 thought a lot less than this one. Oh no, don't go to back end. This is starting to look like disaster. Oh, I will soon move to front back to GPT. Oh, it's still on track. Let's see. So this looks right. So components, we use the BBN diagram and index. Oh, it's just that this updates. So no, it hasn't done anything yet. So it's still thinking and then surprising us with everything at once. So now it created. So we have two component views. This looks like, yeah, this definitely looks more than I got yesterday from GPT-04. So maybe Cloud is better after all. It's just things are happening, and now I need to see if it's doing right thing. And of course, because I haven't been following all the development, I have no idea if this is this like current best practice or not. I just need to trust that the AI knows what it's doing. And it does a lot of changes. So okay, most of our this best practice structure. So we have folder views, we have folder for the component, and then we have all the files. Now just one file for the component, which makes sense if we are adding more files than this layout would work. And then here is the registration, and this looks correct. So let's keep all this. Keep. Looks cool. And done. And now we go to look. Should we check the the front end, how it looks? So I guess it recompiled properly. Of course, we should have just gone to the Waldo and see how it works. So so this is our content types. It already has our new view visible. So it did refresh the code automatically, and now we are viewing our own content view. Maybe we can do some fast changes there just to see that it works. Something weird is this. Maybe those segments are too much. So let's remove the segment wrappers. Because we have these blocks around title, around the content. So these are probably made by these segment blocks here. Okay. It only took the other one, not the first one. And yeah, I guessed right. So what? Also the second one. Oh, and I know I pressed done too early. It forgot everything. And yeah, this would have been faster just remove it manually. But I try to go back to following the rules and let the AI do it for us. Yeah, looks right. And now page is updated. Yes. So I was actually able to, the agent was able to register Waldo view for us. So create a new view for us and then register it for our new content type. And well, that actually, I think that's beneficial because I didn't have to remember all the right places, all the Waldo configuration. So it's kind of surprising that Ian Waldo is younger than Plone backend. So the Plone frontend is younger code than Plone backend. Even then, it managed to create better code for me in the frontend. Maybe it might be because this what we were doing in the backend, we were registering XML content type, and well, it might have had better luck with the Python classes than those XML content types. Anyway, let's go forward. So we would like to fetch the we need to fetch the file from the backend. Could we do that? So let's start by displaying the XML content in the file that's stored in the page. So the content item has, was it file? Maybe it has a file attribute, and fetch the file from Plone and display its contents below. Its content if when available when available instead of no BBN diagram. And now this will be exciting. Even I wouldn't remember by heart the right API calls. Now how would I call the Plone backend properly through the API helpers to actually fetch the file? So we need to fetch the file. Luckily, it's not bytes. It's well, it's visible, so we can render it. It's XML in the file. But we'll see what it figures out and what libraries it uses. I don't know, can we use like just fetch, or do we need to use super agent with Plone or use the APIs? It tries to do something. Yeah, I see familiar Waldo API calls. So then it also added messages like loading. It looks nice, and what we see in the no BBN diagram content available. And maybe we should soon check the browser inspector what happens. Does it actually try to do something? I even, because we would need to do this actually in the front end, not in the back end. And now we have the Waldo server. So this should not be done by the Waldo server, but it should be done by the browser. So we see what happens here. If I go back, and then nothing happens. Edit. The file is there. And we see no messages on the console. So it probably does nothing. Yeah, no message, no errors or network tab. So something, or that one I should have been looking from the first. I don't think it's making any backend calls here. No. No, this one actually might be it, but this has no data. Actually, if we want to see the file, how can we see it? How can we download? Let's add this as a separate file. I want just to see how normal files work in Volto. So we add the same file as a normal Plone file content type. It shows link for us. So it's download / add that download at file. And that's probably the same as the front end should use. Let's take that link for to help us. Okay, the file should be fetched only in the browser, not by server-side rendering. Let's see, would it figure out? But it does have file. Maybe it tried to do something. Maybe I have no. This looks correctly proper, but we saw nothing happening. Maybe I should see better. I rechecked that did it work. Now I'm crafting the URL manually. Well, let's see. Even it looked that it maybe did properly already on the first time. I wonder can we undo for the last previous change somehow easily. So I need to find my hello diagram was my example page. It still says no content available, and we probably still see nothing on the network tab. So it's not calling. It's not calling the download, I guess. No. Now it would really help it would really help if there was some clever on the chat to tell how this works. But okay, well, can we somehow go back for the previous? Maybe with undo? No. Yes. Oh, so now we are back. We are back just after removing the segments. Okay. So let's try again. What's the file attribute on the content and display its contents but only on the browser, not during server-side rendering. So now we are doing again same things as said before. So the agent will figure out how to fetch the file attribute and display it. And well, because it's LLM, it might pick a little bit different prompt. It might find out a completely different way to do it than previously. So now there's like a third iteration. And drum rolls. Something is happening. There are states and loadings and droppers, maybe. Yeah. Let's keep everything. Now we should see an error if something happens. That sounds fun. Content file. We no longer see the download attribute being used that it did use previously. So let's not. We see nothing here. So maybe it even doesn't work. So let's check how our compilation works here. It says it worked. So we should see something. Probably nothing. And okay, let's add some debugging. Like what was it was using display content. No, it's not content. Its attribute is named file. I recall. Let's check once again from the profile default types, BBN diagram, schema. Here's the schema. No, this is. So I pressed too many times undo and we lost our previous content type. Really? Oh dear. So you should press undo with care. I was not pressing undo at this document, and now this looks completely different. And well, actually, it's okay. I guess it's okay to use reuse the file classes just with different names. Oh dear. Now I go and check at the backend AP backend, Plone backend. How does our content type look at this point? Because I haven't done the add-on reinstallation after my Windows, so maybe there is still the old version running. So this with dynamic field. Yes, dynamic file field. And the ID is definition. So I think I told it to write it with the attribute file, but I never checked what it did actually. So, and oh yeah, now we cannot update our add-on, reinstall our add-on because our backend add-on because it would create a different consequence. So I should download the content type profile and then replace this from the code. I'll do that later. I just don't press the uninstall now. So we get forward. Maybe, of course, maybe this LLM will go and look our content types and then figure out we are cheating it. Let's now just tell that the attribute of the file is called definition. And maybe it figures out, oh, I need to check that, not the content diagram, but the content definition. But the definition has the download attribute. And oh, you'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, update. And thinking. And yeah, we trust what it's doing. And does it still, it's still not using the download attributes here. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, now we get an error, not found. I guess that's progress, I guess. Now let's add some debugging. So content and definition. And maybe we dump it. So JSON. Oh, it's stringify. Dump is Python. Oh, no, of course, because it's rendering the error message. I was updating the wrong place. Where is the error message? It's so it throws and oh, so I should how it catches it somewhere. Okay, set error, and then it displays the error here. Okay. So it has download attribute, and this is the one we would like it to use. Yeah. So let's undo our changes really carefully. Okay. The URL for the diagram is in the attribute and definition download. So if I just had better context knowledge on Voldo and Plone REST API, I would remember that better. Maybe I could have give better instructions, and then it would also perform better. But I must say, it definitely does more verbose code than I would write just for trying things out. So it needs it's because it writes all this and keeps all these translation messages update. That's nice. A lot of saves a lot of typing, hopefully. And that's our XML. Perfect. So it's been like 45 minutes, and now I have backend content type that I already broke on the file on my repository side, and then we have our custom view, Volto view that properly fetches the XML content from the server. Now we need to add BBN.io plugin for this from the server side to render them. And let's see if we can do everything at once. So I render downloaded render the downloaded BBN XML. So render it using BBN.js library. Create required components. And now this is really interesting because, well, it would it would need to add the BBN.js library into our front end package dependencies, then run the npm for us, and because it's not a React library, it should also implement React.js like wrapper components to use it. So let's see. So okay. So at first it checks, it uses npm, not the p npm. Maybe that should be the. Oh, now it not use the ppm, right? So that looks correct. So now it checks if we have BBM and JS installed. Oh, that's not available. So we need to. So that was my problem. So I need to go to cell where I have the right tools available. So now if it would work in this cell, then everything would work, hopefully. So it's doing folder for the BBN viewer. So it needs a component for that. So that's correcting. Why it takes so long time? No idea. It's already did it. And now it's thinking more, I guess. Yeah, I can have a cup of tea. Should I cancel it and ask it to continue from that, or would it know where to connect? So it might have got a little bit lost because I didn't have nppmn right on its fingertips. But now there is nppmn available. So should I install the BBM.js for it? Maybe. Even that's a little bit broken the rules. Because now it got stuck and I haven't. Stop. Yeah, stop. I know it also closed. Yeah. Let's start from the beginning. And I need to tell it about my environment. So internal run dev shell to get into shell with pnpm. Hopefully it understands. Okay. Awesome. So at least it follows instructions when given. Of course, it wouldn't be able to know that we don't have ppm and we have bpm hidden inside that command. But why it now gets stuck thinking? So is it somehow lost in no? Okay, so what if I install the library for it and then let it continue from that? Then it won't need to do shell stuff and it won't get lost. So we go to package and it's a packet dependency. So we need to add it here, I think. So, but this is maybe we use npm just as a npm say install save bbm JS. And maybe then some other command in the front end project would fix it, would add it there. And I guess I could cheat it by installing it manually, save some time. We'll see. And it should have fast internet because it's running on GitHub code, wherever that, if it's Azure or not, I'm not sure. It did find the packages. Awesome. Now we also add them for the top project, just to make sure it's available. I guess no. How? Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Make install. Maybe that adds it. Yes. So it possibly found bbm.js from our add-on project and moved it in the right place. So Cookie Plone comes with quite usable makefiles to help with all the chore stuff. Now let's see, do we have it here? No. So let's see, find. It's so we have bbm.js now. Okay, so yeah, this agent got lost in our difficult shell setup. That's not completely my fault. Let's try again, and let's tell the bbm.js is already available. Already been installed. And oh, I need to press this cancel at first. Okay, so that was 10 minutes lost just because of the setup and agent getting lost. But I was told we can go a little bit over an hour, so let's see if we can make it build the components for us. Okay. Oh, so it thinks it can. Right now it forgot completely that it would you to use create a new component for it. It tries to do everything inside the view. Uh, Maybe I should instruct it to make the separate component out of the Venn diagram. Yeah, let's not do it that way. That's a messy way. And even better would be to make it a Waldo widget, but that's too much. So undo at first, or maybe we can tell it here. So please make the BBM and Weaver separate component. Or is it just still thinking about it? No. So it's still thinking by itself. So I was being too hurry here. So it was not ready, but it was still thinking refactoring maybe. Okay. Yeah. Now we can tell it in the separate file. Now we can tell it to make extract that component from the view extract that component from the view and move it in the separate component file, hopefully. And why we have red files on this TypeScript? And I don't know. Oh, there is TypeScript set up, so we could also have the typings for the event.js installed, maybe. No. Okay, let's go there. So now there is separate component inside this folder. I guess that's close enough, so we can remove this. Oh, let's remove the folder only at the end if it doesn't move it by itself. That's exciting. so much code just keeps being written. So now I seem to be just accepting everything. Looking good. And we can later move that component into separate directory and make it more reusable. So let's see what it does. Or let's just see the, even better, let's go and see the end result. So we see actually it did install the Venn.js library properly. We see this logo here. It's trying to render something, but it's definitely not rendering our plugin, so our diagram. So let's see what's happening here. Is it using the stuff it downloaded, or did it just forget everything about downloading things? What are you doing? Yes, content definition download, that looks correct. And so we need to just in case, okay, XML content goes to be Weaver, that looks correct. And just in case, let's add a wrapper here to also show the content, so we can be sure that it works. So we display the content here, just in case. This should be correct, I hope. No, I broke it. I forgot closing brace. Okay. Yeah, that's the XML we should be rendering. Why don't we see anything here? Let's see. Is there errors on the console? Yes, there's an error. No diagram to display. How is that? One more. Oh, skip and back. And yeah, the same. So it definitely it hits that error. And why is that? XML content. What did I do now? It's right there. So let's remove our debug code at first. So it seems everything works up to this place. So I guess I should have let it render the first iteration at first, and then when everything was in one file, and iterate that working condition, and then told it to export the component in a separate file. Maybe that would have been better. Not sure. Okay, this is done. We'll ask later when we figure out how should we fix it. So there must be XML content, otherwise this would give an error. What if I just keep logging it? Yes, I can have the XML content. Why don't you have the XML content? I guess in the diagram, what's the problem with you? The XML content here, XML content here. It should be here too. Yes. And viewer import XML. It's right here. Full BBM and definition. It should just work. But then it says no diagram to display. Well, of course, we should have just copied this error in the first place. But now I already said it's already let it forget everything. So I wonder, can it now figure out what's wrong? Well, we can try. I guess downside in this vibe coding approach is that because I'm not reading all the code it writes, I'm just accepting things. When something goes wrong, I'm like completely lost. What should I fix? Like instead of trying to, so I could either try to learn what it right and then try to fix things on the base of what I'm seeing. That takes a lot of time. It's very tempting just to keep telling the agent to try to fix it instead of myself. Because well, it started that on the first place, so maybe it could fix it for me too, so that I don't need to read and learn its code. It seems, of course, it also explains a lot. See, I wonder if I would be reading all the things it writes to me, would I then understand the code better, and would I then be able to fix the errors? Or is that even the point? Should I just keep using the element to fix things if I'm using it? Oh, and yeah, okay. So I guess that was the answer. I should not try to figure out what went wrong with the element code. I should just let it fix it. So little less than little more than an hour, we are able to build custom Plone backend content type that accepts BBN file upload, and then have a default view for it that renders that BBN diagram for us. And that was actually what I was looking for. And I think going for the edit mode would be too much time. But there's one more thing we could do. We could try to make this like a scrollable and resizable. So add navigation plugin for the viewer. So we try to enable some features I know exist in the BeamNJS. And now I enjoy what it did. So it actually knew what CSS is required for the proper display. It created a React component for viewing for the diagram with. It looks like it's properly waiting for the data to load asynchronously, and because we saw that it it worked at the end. And then, by the way, does it add the border somewhere? Probably see soon. I'd like to remove this black border. Well, maybe not. It shows the boundaries, so it's probably okay. And now it seems that it's doing a lot of changes, but it's only scanning through the file. And here we see handle zoom out and other features being added. Why it required so many lines? Oh, it's mostly by styling it added. Yeah, so LLM is trying to please us. Agent is trying to please us with adding like extra features. And now we figure out we actually need to have a separate package for the minimap. And that one I now had to do manually because it got lost in my shell setup. So that was new thing for me to learn, that my dev container setup is not fully compatible how agents would want to use shell. Or maybe I would able to configure the shell VS Code shell so that it automatically works properly. Maybe, I don't know. So we need to go to front end. Front end packages are add-on npm I save diagram JS minimap. And now it should be there. And then I go to the front end root and run make install again. And now it fetches everything for the ppnm context where our water project is running. Hopefully. And then we see what happens here. Okay, canvas on is not the function. So maybe this is, we let the agent to fix it. Okay. But we do have this diagram you have there already. Has been installed. So does it now know to? Okay, so I was not clear in the context, so now it remember that thing should have been done, but I did it. So trust me, it's been done. And this is the last thing I want to do. And then I need to save my backend content type from the Plone API. So maybe I can do that right now. So I can, where I can edit the XML fields. So there's no, wasn't the editor somewhere? Maybe the editor is at the content type level. Yes, it's not here. Where is the schema editor? It used to be XML schema editor. Was it so dangerous that it has been removed, or is it somewhere hidden in some advanced feature? Anyway, I can here from the types control panel, I can download the type profiles, and actually it's actually enough. And then I just take that file and replace my the content of that file with copy paste, and then that's saved. But now it tries to fix the error of the minimap, and does it work? Yes, yes, yes. We have scrolling, we have panning. I mean zooming, we have panning, and we have even tip how to use it. And then we have, oh, um, let's move the controls to bottom left corner. Yes. Move the button controls. So it wouldn't be able to know that the minimap would like be on top of the those buttons, so they would overlap. And maybe we should even add like, oh, that's actually fun because now it's um, small additional features would be a lot of would feel at this point like I would like to have a toggle for the minimap, and that feels like a lot of code to do manually. Maybe the agent can do it for me. But let's move these controls at first. Better. Oh, how I tell this thing to it? So move the controls a bit upwards. Now it overlaps the bottom border of the diagram. And then add toggle for minimap. I must say that at this point, when we had the basic feature done, and it would be nice to have little enhancements. At this point, this is actually fun. Like myself, I feel already too tired to add those small additional little features there. But I feel that this agent can do this for me, like with so that it feels easier now. Yeah. So I started this hour with a lot of skepticism. Will this work? Would I have done this faster manually? And I still think I would have done the back end side, the content type faster manually. But it's front ending, I think, and this time this is faster. So it has turned quite a lot of code for us, and a lot of the code it's just state management and things like that. It's we should write those lines anyway. So I don't think it writes so much to like extra code. It's verbose, but it's still clear. And yeah, minimap toggle. Oh, now we have two minimap toggles. Was that toggle? Maybe that toggle was there before already, but or did it add it? Maybe it added. Anyway, we have two minimap toggles. That's fun. And plus, minus, and yeah, and reset for the zoom level 100. Did it add that another minimap toggle there, or was it there by default? I'm not sure. If I just remove this, and I just comment out this toggle, then I know. It's quite possible that the diagram says minimap already had that feature. I just didn't realize that beforehand. And now how I broke it? Yeah, so it's there already. Maybe I can remove that one. It would look nicer, more control for me. Oh, what I did? No. So again, the undo is dangerous. So it's a good rule that you should not touch the code you are writing with LLM. Save it. And let's format it at this point. Let's format document. Oh, it's not, it was not for rough. No idea why I tried to do it rough. Okay, and now I want to hide the toggle from the minimap. And this must be the last change I do. Then I'm commit and I'm happy. Yes, we have our custom toggle. We want to remove the default toggle. And now okay, so it's tries to check the diagram.js minimap if it has configuration option for the toggle. And so when we hear the results, okay, so it found a feature. Waiting, doing the last changes. And then we commit, and then I have a feature, reusable payment diagram component to be usable in Volto. And then I can continue for developing the edit function later. Maybe in my own Twitch streams on some Fridays. Okay, please do. Okay. And scans through the changes. So this is already almost 300 lines of code. Oh, and now it's more. I know that is, what did it change? Okay, so it hides the minimap toggle with display none custom CSS. And did that pro? Yeah, that did pro the whole. I went a little bit too far and now it's broken, and so much code that I have no idea what went broken. Yeah, so this was bad idea. Made the custom minimap module. Can we revert with undo? And where we are after undo. Okay. So, okay. Hide the minimap toggle from diagram with CSS. Yeah, different kind of fun. I just want this last small change to be done, and then I'm complete. Then I'm done. So please hide the toggle. I want to use the toggle from my own custom component created by me. Created by the agent. From the content it had learned somewhere, I have no idea. Okay. No. So it both added import for CS that it only now at the CSS, but it cannot. No, it actually something happened. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. So what's in the custom CSS? You don't need to style the container. You don't need to change the minimap position. You only have to hide the minimap and toggle, and it still didn't done it. Why it was so difficult? So it toggle under the JS minimap. So, okay. So it just couldn't figure out the right CSS for us. Okay. Now it would be still nice to position it properly. I didn't check why it did position that toolbox that way. Maybe controls bottom 40 pixels, 0 pixels. There may be 20 pixels. Yeah, I was still needed to position these controls properly. Now I'm done. Now I'm done. So it took almost 1.5 hours, but I think I got the feature done. Feature that didn't exist before for Waldo. So I think I must be happy. So we added the front end. Event diagram view. And because we are doing in GitHub Codespaces, we can simply commit it and push it to the repository where we did create this code space. So now when we go to GitHub, under my profile, there is the repository for collected event content. And here is the button for creating this code base for yourself. And now it has the new component here hidden. Added. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. Pretty much what I was looking for. So we used GitHub LLM agent for 1 hour for wipe coding BBM diagram view for Waldo. I'm very happy, and I guess this of course is a little bit of mixed experience, because when I was doing what I knew to do on the back end, I lost time with the agent. But on the Waldo side, with the front end code, I think I got real help from the LLM there. So maybe I will be using it at least for fun in the future for non-critical stuff like this on next time somewhere. So thank you, and have a nice Plone World Day. And see you possibly at the Plone Conference 2025 in Finland.